Good morning, everyone. This is day 3 of our Messiah 2025 excursion. Most of these mornings I spend here in the dorms getting caught up on work. As you know, one of the things which I will be doing when we get back to Texas is starting up the updated edition of Romans for the Practical Messianic. So some of the work, I wouldn't call it busy work, but I would call it preliminary work for that project I'm trying to do in the mornings. I actually did some of it in the car on Friday. So some of this prelim work, trying to get it completed. It'll probably push into next week when we get back. So far everything's going well. One of the things I can say is now that we've been here for 3 days, all of the stress you feel from the travel part, riding in the car, that's pretty much gone away. I'm settling in. My legs are getting used to standing up, sitting down, standing up, sitting down in the marketplace. And I even had a restful sleep last night, so that was very good. So I have just received some very, very important news. Rather than having to eat lunch in the cafeteria, today at least, Pop has found a cheesesteak place, Hoagie House. And before the pandemic hit, there was actually a cheesesteak party on Thursday nights with Joel and Miriam Chernoff, and this is the place where they got the cheesesteaks from. It had closed for a while. Well, it's reopened, and I get to have a more or less authentic Philly cheesesteak, they'd call them cheesesteaks here, for my lunch today. So here are the cheesesteaks. This is mine. This is Whiz Wit, for those of you who are in the know. Here's my lunch. This is Whiz Wit, for those of you who are in the know on cheesesteaks. Here's the cross section of the sandwich. So you can tell that this is authentic. It's on an Amorosa roll for those of you who are in the know as well. The key to a good cheesesteak is always the bread.
Oh, thanks.
So you can tell that this is very authentic. And this is also I would say a standard by which to evaluate some of the ones we've got back in Texas, which claim to replicate those in this region. It's a little past 1:30 now. We're making our way down to the marketplace area. It was nice to have that lunch. And I was not only able to do some important work this morning, but I was even able to get rested up. As you know, tomorrow morning is my presentation, and then later we've got an appointment with some of my mother's high school friends who my mother, as you know, is originally from Annapolis, Maryland, so we're going to get with them in the afternoon. We did that last year as well. So tomorrow will be a full day, and hopefully we'll have a good time in the marketplace. So it needs to be emphasized how at a very large event like the Messiah Conference, the largest Messianic Jewish conference in the world, you got people from all over North America, you got people from Israel, other parts of the planet. Some people will ask me from time to time, John, how can you go to an event like this? Surely you don't agree with everything which you're going to hear or encounter. To which I will politely say, look, when you go to any kind of professional religious event, gathering, academic society, no one agrees 100% with everyone. Those who have participated in large Protestant denominations, when you go to a conference or some kind of an annual event, you don't agree with everyone who is there. That's impossible. Normally, what you will see is you'll see about a third of the people you're really excited to see. They're excited to see you. You're genuinely blessed by their presence. You get caught up on events of the past year. You're friends with them. About another third of the people you might not really be interacting with that closely. That doesn't necessarily mean you're in stark disagreement with them, but you don't know them. There are going to be those people who you are in disagreement with, and you just avoid them. And then there's that middle third where you're acquainted with them on some level, you don't know them that well, and you just wait and see year by year. You remember me? Oh, yes, I do. So that's typically how I approach going into a large event like this. You got a third, and a third. And I think a lot of the people who tend to ask me things like, well, you don't agree with everything, they tend to be more those who are critical to negative about Messianic Judaism. They don't know how internally diverse it actually is. Their experience with it can be limited to only what they read on paper, and it has to be experienced in person. Because if all you're reading are position statements or books, and you're not actually interacting with some of the people on the ground, your impression of it is going to be jaded. It's almost 5 o'clock now. We're continuing to push through the day here in the marketplace. We have had some good conversations. I did get to meet someone who, yes, I would consider to be an adversary, but they don't know that. It's the son of a prominent leader from the other group. But overall, it's been a good afternoon, and between ourselves, we've had some good discussions. So our time in the marketplace is over for right now. We're here in the cafeteria having the evening meal. Oh my goodness, isn't this impressive? Cafeteria fare. Actually, it's pretty mediocre for tonight. Day 3, the evening time in the marketplace. It was slow in the marketplace this afternoon. Hopefully it will not be as slow this evening. And when we leave, of course, I've got to take some things with me because tomorrow morning I'm giving my presentation. This is my presentation tomorrow. When are we focusing on kingdom work while waiting for the return of the Messiah? It's a little past 10 o'clock now. We've had some interactions this evening. Haven't really sold a lot, but it's only Tuesday. And as is typical at an event like this, a lot of people will come in, they'll look at all of the different tables to see what's available, and toward the end of the week, that's when they'll decide what to get. Once in a while, we'll have someone who we talk to who is not very positive. Then you'll speak to a number of leaders who, they're nice, but how far can you really engage with them? So, everyone is different. That's just the way I think ministry is, theology is. So, day 3 is started to wind down, and now I'm having to think through my presentation for tomorrow. Of course, it's already been written for the most part. Touch base with a number of people who have said that they're going to attend. It should go well. Back at the dorm now, getting ready to turn in. Day 4 was a slow day. Day 5, tomorrow, is going to be much more active and much different.